My top 5 countries that you should visit if you haven't been already. Definitely need to add them to your list. So, hi, I am Eb from Eb's Migrations. If this is your first time to my channel, I just share my journey of living outside of the US and living in the world. This will be my 5th year of living in the world, and I just share the beauty of the people that I meet, cultures I encounter, and the beautiful landscape that I see. So, in this particular video, we will be talking about my top 5 countries. So, let's get straight into it. Now, it's very hard to pick because I found beauty in every part of the world I've been in. I can find beauty anywhere, but each country stands out for different things. So for me, I enjoy like the culture, and the people have to be warm, and the food has to be amazing. So my first one, number one, would be Bali. Bali would be just because it's like really changed the trajectory of my life. I share how in my video on about why I left the States. So Bali, there's just something special about the energy there. The food is amazing too. When you go specifically, I connected with Ubud. Yes, Ubud is quite touristy, but you can stay outside of the center and stay like in like some of the rice paddies, and it was really nice. But it smells like jasmine rice. Like they use so many beautiful spices, almost like Thailand and India. Like the aroma just fills the street, and the people are very warm and engaging, and the food was amazing. The food, the energy, it's very tropical. It's like being in a jungle, and I love tropical places. So Bali really spoke to me. But I go way more in depth about my connection to Bali in my video about why I left the States. If you like surfing, you can do surfing there as well. Indonesia, I think, has just a lot to offer outside of if you don't want to go to Bali. Number two would be Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe stole my heart. That was the first place I've been to that took my breath away because of the landscape. It translates to place of stone, and they have so many beautiful rock, natural stone formations, like big boulders just there. I went with a friend at the time, so I stayed and had like a local experience. So I didn't really the food didn't really stand out to me as much because it's very meat heavy. If you eat meat, I don't eat meat. So like you will have fresh meat. It's like meat that they have running around live out there. I don't eat meat, so I had like the veggies. I do like the way that they prepare their veggies. They make like a tomato stew first and then put like the greens inside that, and you have it with what they call sadza. South Africa calls it pop, and I think like West African cultures might call it fufu. So it's maize, it's corn, and just ground it like very fine, like a powder, and they just make it really thick, like grits, but thick and stiff, and you form it into a ball and you push a little hole in it, and that's what you use as a spoon to scoop up your veggies. So the food I kind of ate just like beans and greens. If you eat meat, I think you would have like the time of your life. But the landscape is just so diverse. I stayed in Bulawayo. I had the pleasure of going to a rural village. You had to get permission from a chief, and since the person that I knew, they have people there, we were able to gain access, and we stayed with Gogo. Gogo is a name that they give to like elders, so like your grandmother would be a Gogo. And her compound, there was no electricity. Like I remember the guy when he brought us to the room, it was nighttime when we first got there. We just did sightseeing, and that's when I first saw the boulders and just like the green and how plush it was, and how it used to be a lot of water. You can see like the lines on the rocks where the water used to be, and because of the drought that they experience, it's none. Like we were walking through what once was a lake and it was completely barren. So that was crazy. But once we got back in, it was nighttime, and he said, let me turn the light on for you. And I was like, I thought there was no electricity in this village. He met a candle, so he lit a candle, and that was cool. And stayed in a nice hut. That's when I realized like how rich and vital soil can be, and like how multi-purpose it is. Like people really use it to build a home. Like the hut that I stayed in was built from the ground, like literally from the soil. It's beautiful. And then use the bathroom outside. It's just a circular hut with something in the whole ground for you to handle your business. But it was nice connecting with the earth in that way. I haven't done that before. And Gogo was an amazing cook, and just like energy that I've never experienced in my life like that before. Like, I just felt her. I didn't understand her, but I just knew she was extraordinary. I wrote a long blog post about Gogo and all that she's been through. She had the most infectious smile ever. And I remember like hearing her story after I met her, and I couldn't believe this lady went through all of that, because grief and loss has a way of like tainting a person, right? Like, sometimes you can move forward, but you're no longer who you once were, and it could be good or bad. But Gogo's case, like, she has amazing energy, and her husband was decapitated in front of her, like during a genocide that occurred in Zimbabwe, and she still has the most infectious smile ever. Like, that has not changed her way of being and expressing and showing love, and I think it's just beautiful. She's a remarkable human being. She was even featured on BBC's History of Africa series. Like, she's a special person. So I really, like, I'm just blessed to have met her, to have exchanged energy with her in this lifetime of mine. That was just, yeah, that's a highlight of my travels. Like, all the places I've been, and I've been many places, like, that is the highlight of my travels, spending time in me and Gogo and staying with her in her village. um, Another trip that I did to Zimbabwe, I took a train all the way across the country to Victoria Falls. Psh, you need to go to Victoria Falls. Another place that made me feel like I was in Bali. Like, I didn't know Zim can be so diverse in landscape and so tropical, especially at that time. Like, I was still new to Africa, and it was just really beautiful. But Zimbabwe is a country that took my breath away. So if you like landscape and just diversity in landscape and different ecosystems, Zimbabwe is the place for you. And history and culture, like, a lot of dynasties, like the Great Zimbabwe, where they built Kami ruins. I visited there. It was literally hand built by stone. But there's a lot of history in Zimbabwe. China used to come and do trade there. A lot of the Arab, like, do some research on Zimbabwe. There's a lot of history there. So outside of Zimbabwe, number three would be Okinawa, Japan. Okinawa is not in the mainland, so it's like the Hawaii of the states. It's on the outskirts. It's a small island, but you have access to other islands that are remarkable, like beautiful. I remember taking a ferry, a day trip to one, and I was talking to this guy who taught me, which is a fun fact, that karate, Okinawa is the home of karate. So him and I were talking, and I remember like the boat just going quiet. Everybody was talking, and then like you didn't hear anything. And I looked up and I was like, oh, that's why. We were just approaching to the island, and the water was so blue and beautiful that everybody just stopped speaking and got their phones out and started taking pictures. And that was the first beach that I've been to that topped another place that I'm gonna mention that's on the list. But I really enjoy Okinawa. That was some of the best fish that I had, and they only serve local fish. Like, they have signs outside restaurants that says like only local fish. So if it's not swimming in that ocean, you can't get it. No imported anything. And I went into this small place. I don't even know. I just found it from walking. I love to walk when I'm in foreign places. So I was walking around, and then I came across this place, and there was this old man cooking in front of people in this large wok, and he made me the most amazing fish I ever had. I think he only flavored it with like oil and garlic and maybe a little salt, but it was amazing. Um, what else did I like about Okinawa? It was just chill. Like, purple sweet potatoes are a thing, like actual purple inside the flesh. Like, in the markets in the states, you can find like just the skin is purple. No, like the whole sweet potato is purple. It's a thing. You can go to like all these little local stores, like corner stores, and get a roasted, like how you see hot dogs in 7-Eleven roasting. Like, they roast sweet potatoes. They're really good too, for like $1. And they make ice cream, like purple sweet potato ice cream. Try it. Don't knock it till you try it. And then I just saw like a Rasta, what we considered a Rasta. He had locks, like a Japanese man, locks, top knot, like just chill with the big Thailand pants. And his store, he was burning incense, had reggae going. When I thought of Japan and like visualize it, that was not what I thought of. So I like that changed my perspective. And the people were nice. I just remember the people being very nice. I enjoyed the culture, and this was me coming after living in South Korea, so it was nice to see and experience Japan and not mainland Japan to see how chill. Most people buy water, like I like coastal places, so Japan, Okinawa. And then next, number four, which you're probably not expecting, and people who live in the States, this is in your backyard. You should go. Bermuda. Bermuda was like a second home to me when I was living in the States. I would go every year. I had a friend from there. She had dual citizenship. So we met in the States, but she would always go to Bermuda. So then I started making trips to visit her once a year, and Bermuda was like home. Some outside of Okinawa, best beaches. I've been to places, and like Bermuda has white sand, fine white sand beaches and crystal blue water. I will put you onto a beach that the locals go to. It's called Clear Water Beach. It's like a swimming pool, 420 friendly, everything friendly. Like nobody is bothering anybody. It's locals that go there, so they're just chilling. There's another one that I'm gonna keep for myself, but that's like my chill little beach. It's one thing when tourists go to places, they kind of mess it up. A lot of tourists will go to the beaches in Bermuda and take, like, they have pink sand beaches too, and they would take the sand, and that messes up the ecosystem after a while if everybody's coming and taking things back. So I'm gonna keep the other beach to myself. But Clearwater Beach is really nice. I think you would enjoy it. Flights to Bermuda from like JFK are super affordable for a round trip. You can get there for like 200. Bermuda is not cheap though. It's the oldest British colony. You don't have to change your currency when you go. You can use USD and pay. You'll just get Bermudian money back. That is also the home of Dark and Stormies. If you like you a good cocktail and want some Bermudian rum, go to Bermuda. Good vibe. Also with Japan, you can find like pineapple everything in Okinawa. Like they even have a pineapple amusement park, but they have pineapple sake, pineapple bear, like just pineapple everything. And the little places to go eat are cute. I enjoy sitting on the floor. I find like it connects me closer to the earth. Like instead of being so far away, like it's nice to be low. South Korea like made me that. So Japan was that way as well. Small little cute spots. And I don't know if you know, if you spend time in Asia, you do know, but there's a thing of like coffee in a can. You can get hot coffee in a can and you can get cold coffee in a can, and they sell them in vending machines. So how you get like your soda, you can get coffee in a can, and it was like that in Japan too on the streets. So Bermuda is like going to the Caribbean, but closer. Like it's right there. It's like going to the Caribbean because you have so many people from the Caribbean that live there, from St. Kitts, St. Croix. I met a Rasta who was just telling me of how like all the Caribbeans came to be in Bermuda. So like people have that Caribbean accent. The love is there. You can get your Caribbean food. Like it's nice. Like it's really nice. It's just expensive because everything is imported. So going grocery shopping is way more expensive even than in the States. Bermuda is not a cheap country to visit. So like look into staying at an Airbnb. If you do a resort or a hotel, you're going to be spending some money. But if you do an Airbnb, you can save. Do an Airbnb and maybe get you a scooter. They drive on the other side of the road, so you got to get used to that. But there is a bus, and I take the local bus. It goes across the island. The island is small, like you can do the island, but it's beautiful. Like it's colorful homes with the white roof, so the way the sun reflects from the blue ocean, it's just a nice, bright, colorful. It's hard to not be happy in Bermuda. I like that. Like it's very hard to be like have a bad day because you're in Bermuda. It's colorful, it's bright, it's beautiful, and they're downtown. I think they were even listed at one point as Hamilton. Their downtown area was listed as one of the most expensive places in the world to live. That's how expensive it is in Bermuda. But at night when you finish your parties, I'm putting you onto another local spot, Ice Queen. Ice Queen is the place you want to go for like your fish nuggets and fries. That's what I would get when it's late and the club ends and you just want some snacks, something to eat. Ice Queen. Even if it's not late, I like Ice Queen. Ice Queen is like your chicken shack that you would go to. You can go there and get fish nuggets. But the lobster, best lobster I've ever had, Bermuda. If you are going specifically for lobster, since I told you, go in a month that ends in a R. It's illegal for them to catch or do lobster anytime after that. They may have changed that. This has been 4 years since I've been there, but you can only get lobster in months that end in an R. Amazing. Bermuda has amazing lobster. It's expensive, so be prepared to spend some money, but it is worth it. Like maybe over $100. But it's so good. It's so good. Like, it's really good. You're in Bermuda, eat the lobster, eat their local fish too. What is the local fish called? I can't even remember. I'll add it, but they have like a local fish that you should try, and it's affordable. Like, the local fish is affordable, and you can find it mainly anywhere. So for my Caribbean people, I think you will feel at home in Bermuda, and they have like the beautifully complected people, like just rich complexions of melanin. It reminded me of East Africa, but I love Bermuda for that. Bermuda will always be like a second home to me. I love the accents. I love the people. It's like a British Caribbean island. Bermuda, like, I chill, I go by myself. My friend works, and I just be hanging by myself all day. I make friends. I go sit in the park, and people are so friendly. They'll come talk to me. I've had people share food, like just me sitting at the park, and they come and they just bring me food. Like, it's, I always get so much love, and their beaches are amazing, like top star beaches right in your backyard. People in the States, like, go visit Bermuda. Yes, it's expensive, but go with a group, find a house on Airbnb, and make it do what it do. And take the bus. Like, you catch the bus from the downtown area. So go to Hamilton and just ask around for, the good thing is people speak English, so you don't have to worry about a language barrier. They just speak it British English and with like a nice little Caribbean vibe. Go to the downtown area and just ask where the bus stop is, and tell them where you're going. You can go to like St. George, which is nice, and you can see some of the old areas where like the ports and the ships were, and where they would fight against the Brits. Like, you get to see a lot of historical places. So take the bus, get a map, look up the areas you want to go to, tell the people at the bus station that's where you're going. You can't get lost. The people are so nice and friendly and warm that they will help you along your way. You know, like, I do remember just everybody being nice and friendly. So take the bus, walk, rent a scooter, like, get a very local approach to it. That's a cool place to start. Like, if you're traveling by yourself, it will be quite expensive, honestly, to travel in Bermuda by yourself if you don't know anyone. But if you go in a group and you want to have a day of exploring by yourself, I think it's a good country to start that by yourself, because you can get around and navigate it easily, and it's very safe. The places that you will be going to will be very safe. All right, so then the last one, it's like two. They share. Like, it would have to be Mexico, and Mexico I just came to and really explored a year ago, and it like really became top on my list. This country is beautiful, diversity in landscape. You can get everything here. The energy of the country is powerful and beautiful. The people match that energy. They're very warm and friendly. Corn is very heavy here, and I find that to be in a lot of like places I visited that have like an African influence in it. I love it here. I live here, so I'm kind of biased, like Mexico. But another one would be, that would share with Mexico, would be Malaga. Malaga is in the south of Spain. Oh, and for Mexico, I've done tons of videos explaining why I love this country, so you can check my channel to see why Mexico is so special to me. But Malaga and the south of Spain, they share. They share. I just don't want to be in Europe right now. But if I did, I would go to Malaga. Malaga, it's so different than being in like Barcelona or other parts, or even Madrid, because the people are more laid back. Something about water. I guess I told y'all all places that are near water, but Malaga, the food, fresh fish, because it's right there. You can see Morocco from there, and then the Moors were there, so you get to see like the North African influence in the architecture and the old buildings that are still there, that you can go see, like where dynasties and things and people of like power where they lived is still there. And Van Gogh is from Malaga, if you didn't know. Antonio Banderas as well. Another fun fact, Malaga means the land of salt. So when you see this, right, this sign, regardless of what language you speak, this should mean something, right? If somebody does this to you, it typically means money, right? Hopefully that was your answer, right? Like the universal sign for money, learned on a free walking tour, which you should take. I'm gonna try to find an image, so if you go to Malaga, take this free walking tour. I've had two amazing walking tours in different countries, and it was Malaga and in Paris, France. my top two free walking tours. Malaga specifically, he taught us that salt used to be a high form of currency, and this would be the way to test the quality of the salt, right, for trading. And it became like the universal sign for currency. And look at that. So learned that there. It's a really cool city, like nice cobblestones, very chill, and it has like a nice climate year round. It gets cold, but it's not as cold as the rest of Europe. And the food is so good, and tapas are a thing, so you can go and get like appetizers everywhere. Go to this place, amazing anchovies if you like anchovies, and they fry them nice. They just have really good tapas, and they age this local liquor out there. I don't remember the name. For those of you who drink, that would be a good place. That's my top five. Some of them you probably already been to, or they're on your list. You may not even have heard of them. If you haven't, add them to your list now. Check them out. You won't be disappointed. And if you go, let me know. Yeah, and a good thing is when you get to Europe and you go to Malaga, flights in Europe are very affordable. You can find a flight, like my flight from Paris to Malaga was only 20 euros. You can't fly anywhere in the States for 20, like $25. Like you can't, you just can't. So if you go to Europe, you have access to other parts in Europe. If you just want to go see Paris for a couple of days, or anywhere else, or even to see Spain, buses, like I took a day trip to Granada, and that was nice. Like you can get around in Spain very easily by bus. Even Europe, like I've taken buses through places where it's water. Like I went from the Netherlands to London, from London to Paris, all by bus. Affordable. Like it's very easy to navigate. And if you need help, you know who to holla at. But yeah, that's that. Love and light. Later. I love you all.